Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a bit of a situation over here when it comes to gacha discourse and when it comes to the gacha space, and of course, when it comes to everyone's favorite part about gacha wars, the tribalism. And as you can see over here, there's been a crazy development that I feel like nobody could have ever seen coming, especially when you're aware, right, of some of like the discourse, right, especially surrounding plagiarism between Imith and Zenless Zone Zero's Remiel Dan, all of that, right? And that's actually an alliance that has formed between Wuthering Waves players and Hoyoverse players. You can see we got Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin Impact, and Honkai Star Rail getting helped out by Crag Waves over here. Sorry, Thrag Waves over here. And, well, you might be wondering how this actually occurred, because this is the kind of like post where this originates from. Whenever there's a gacha discourse, but NTE walks in, he has me. So you might be wondering, what the fuck must have happened? What the hell must have happened for this kind of like phenomenon of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend to occur to such a high degree, especially knowing the bad blood that exists in this space? And we've actually found kind of like patient zero. We've kind of found like the root cause of the incident way back on June 19th. That was only 2 days ago. This was posted on June 20th, so they were within like 24 hours of each other. A lot apparently happened in 24 hours where somebody was going ahead and comparing some revenue numbers between NTE and Wuthering Waves, and it ended up in a gigantic 4 versus 1 battle. So let's just go ahead, let's find out. Let's check out this first post over here. Breaking news from Daily Zero, a daily NTE account. So if you're not familiar with what daily accounts are, they're kind of like a substitute for therapy that a lot of like weirdos in the gacha space decide to do, where they like cosplay like being the character, and they type like a bunch of dumb shit, and their goal is to like post some retarded shit every day. That's probably the best summary I can make for like Daily's accounts, and I'm like 99% sure if they all went to like a doctor, they would get diagnosed with something. I don't know what it would be, but definitely at least one illness they would get diagnosed for. So that's like the context heading on into this. So let's keep reading. Breaking news, Lacrimosa's banner did better than Hiyuki. Lacrimosa is essentially this small vampire child-looking unit that, you know, does tend to appeal to certain demographics. If you're familiar with Rossi from Arknight's Enfield, she had a similar level of appeal to her. I'm not going to speak too much more on the matter because I'm uncomfortable talking. Anyways, Lacrimosa's banner did better than Hiyuki. We all know who Hiyuki is. A character released on the anniversary, and Lacrimosa's banner is still ongoing. I wonder why. And so essentially this person over here decided to spark a little bit of gacha tribalism revenue wars, especially knowing that NTE was a bit on the lower end when it came to revenue over the past couple of months. Unfortunately though, this truly only does tell one side of the story when it comes to spending as a whole, and usually it's that Japan and some Eastern Asian regions, they really like pulling these types of characters. So yeah, they are typically overrepresented like crazy, and everyone can see that this is kind of like not really an actual post. Well, you can tell by the massive number of likes, 326k views, and only 876 likes and a bunch of quote retweets and stuff, obviously shitting on the post. And so we could definitely expand on this one further, take a look at like all the different reasoning, take a look at like the actual sales numbers that show that like, well, NT is nowhere to be found in comparison to other gachas like Wuwa, Genshin, HSR, blah, blah, blah. Like, NT is nowhere to be found here alongside AKE. We can definitely take a look at this, right? And all the posts talking about historic lows, the stock price of NTE dropping like crazy. Sorry, there's another post I need to pull up over here. I know I said I wasn't going to cover it, but this is just, it's kind of just like free money. Yeah, it's just like people got like posts here talking about like how the stock price is dropping like fucking crazy. Half this shit is in Chinese though, so I'm not going to try to read it. All I see is there's an arrow going down, and green means bad in China for some reason, while red means good. It's just... There's a lot of stuff surrounding this, and then you combine that with the fact that this game's player count has been shrinking faster than your balls inside of an Antarctic swimming pool. Yeah, it's not looking that good. Yeah, it's not looking that good, especially when you take a look at things like, well, that looks like Do It Night Abyss. Well, that looks like Arknight's Enfield. Well, a minus 70% viewership loss is pretty bad. minus 5,000 in a month. That's pretty bad too. Yeah, I don't think anyone looks at these numbers and then says, yeah, this game's doing really well. YouTube searches, by the way. And the comparison we're making over here is to Arknight's Enfield. And so, yes, your chart looks like that. That is the engagement on YouTube. And let me just, we put up Arknight's Enfield, so Misery always loves company, right? That's why we put Arknight's Enfield on here. Now it's time for the miserable to get even more miserable, because I just put this. Yeah, that's not very good, is it? Yeah, that's a bit of a rough look, isn't it? Especially, yeah, most would just say that's not good. You add on a bunch of other games on there too, and there's just even more misery to go around. Yeah, there's even more misery to go around. So you can just tell that these two games, Arknight's Enfield, so on and so forth, they're literally at like the bottom of the space. They're literally at the actual like rock bottom of the space when it comes to engagement and viewership. And well, when you see all the metrics and stuff, it's hard to take singular points of, well, data that only show estimations of mobile revenue very, very, very seriously. So that's what's going on over here. And so, as you can see, it probably makes a lot of sense that there's been, well, responses to that. And this is one of the responses in general. Some of these NTE motherfuckers are really brain dead. Can you talk about your own game without mentioning others? And this is a situation where I'm just going to say, hey, feel free to mention whoever you want, especially if it leads to drama that's this crazy, where like your post is getting like 300, 400K views, and then there's like 30 other offshoot posts that result off of it so I can cover it. Yo, keep doing that. I'm so cool with it. I'm so cool with it. So there were like more responses and stuff over here. Much more and more people shitting on this daily account. It is what it is. But this is where stuff truly went crazy. Because, as we're all aware, when you begin comparison, fair play is to do some more comparison back. Because if you decided you want to compare revenue numbers, knowing that everything else surrounding NTE looks like a fucking shit show, so that comparison was already bad, well, what if you actually start comparing the quality of the actual stuff that happens in-game? And this is where the big collaboration occurred. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the first bits of this big collaboration over here started occurring. Are you ready? NTE players trying to shit on Wuwa like their game didn't make Excalibur look cheap by using AI. First gacha to fumble this. And so, essentially, this is them showing, I guess, the, like, Excalibur animation that Zero, the main character from NTE, showcases in one of their boss fights. That looks pretty shit. I'm gonna be honest. That looks pretty bad for a 2026, cinematic attack. I like that the impact frame doesn't even look like anything. What is that supposed to be? Yeah, like the impact frame is supposed to look like the attack. This just looks like a... Bro, this looks like the back of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's the back of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. What the fuck? And then it just... That doesn't... I'm not going to necessarily say that this was done using AI, because my personal take is I feel like AI should have done a better job, because like that looked like so shit it was unbelievable. Like it just looks like it was done badly. Like I don't even know what AI has to do. It just looks terrible. So the main takeaway is that AI or not, this looks really low quality. This looks like slop. This looks not good. And this is in NTE's latest update, because it feels really odd that a game is deciding to go ahead, or a game's community is deciding to go ahead and take shots when the actual game itself looks like this fucking shit. Looks like this fucking... Oh god, there's more. Oh right. Oh right, we all... yeah, I forgot about Fraxinus. Yeah, I forgot they did that. Yeah, I forgot NTE just straight up copied Fraxinus and named it Fraxinus and then actually added... Oh, wait, they did it again? Oh, wait, no, this is just the scene from Wuwa. So you can see that it's just... They just did theirs. It's just worse. Okay, that's a little interesting. So yeah, let's address this. It's not AI, you fucking idiots. Grow the fuck up. This is the best part about addressing the claim that something bad isn't AI. Great. It's not AI, but it's still shit. So like now it's, hey, the company's maybe not using AI. They're just untalented. They're just talentless freaks. Like, is that better? Like they're talentless then, and they do a bad job. Like, bro, like, I'd rather it's bad because of AI, because then you can at least blame the AI. If this is not AI, then you're just saying the developers suck. Like, it's not good either way, and so it's like a catch-22 when you put out a shit product like this. But that's not it, guys. That's not it. There's more. And this is the most viral post of all. You can probably already tell it's not looking good for this game, because they've already managed to corral a majority of the gacha community against them. Think about the bad reputation from Tower Fantasy that's already leaking through. Then you get this, and then you get the community trying to aggro a bunch of other people. Well, they decided, hey, why don't we just go ahead and do it again? It is safe to say that NTE succeeded. And this is where you just know, this is some weapons grade autism you're about to read, right? I just want to tell you that straight in advance so you can prepare yourself. It is safe to say NTE succeeded if you got to compare a story fight ultimate to a $400 collab character. It's like, I don't think that was the point. So, like if it's getting compared on the basis of being shit. It's being compared on the basis of being shit, and this comment just reads, well, the fact you're making comparison in the first place means that our game won. It doesn't matter that you're calling it a piece of fucking dog shit. The fact that it's even in the conversation means it's a winner. This is like being happy that you got mentioned in the news for winning the Darwin Award. Because you got mentioned in the news. That's like how this comes off as. And if you want context on the Darwin Award, it's an award you win because you, like, die because you did something mad retarded. Like, it's like covering yourself in, like, fish food and then jumping into the Atlantic Ocean and getting eaten by sharks. You would get, like, a Darwin Award for doing that. And so this is, like, again, being proud you got mentioned in the news for dying in a retarded way. Because that's it. That's just here. They're taking being mentioned in the same conversation as HSR or Saber's Ultimate as a chip on their shoulder, even though the comparison being made is that theirs looks like a pile of steaming dog shit. Because it does. Holy fuck, that looks bad. And they're turning that into a W. So, do you kind of like see over here why I have this take about daily accounts? Bro, what kind of mental illness do you need to come to that conclusion when you're getting made fun of? And you wanna know what the best part is? Bro, they proceeded to follow up on this by showing the male character's version like it was any better. So why don't we just take a look and see if, like, truly, like, the cinema has just eluded us this entire time. Nah, it looks equally as shit. Maybe the impact frame looks slightly better. I love the facial expression. Like, this truly does look like a dude about to unleash a powerful attack, right? Bro, it looks like he has powerful indigestion. Like, this is not the facial animation that, like, somebody doing an attack like this should have. Bro, he looks like he's about to give somebody a stern talking to. Dude, this shit is... Okay. Alright, sorry. We were gonna look at the impact frame. My bad. Oh, dear. Wow. That's, It doesn't even... Okay, never mind. Still looks like shit. Yeah, no, that looks fucking bad. I'm sorry. Do you see why this post has 1.7 million views and 344 likes? That's a bad ratio. That is possibly one of the worst ratios I've ever seen. And yeah, as you can tell, this is just embarrassing. This is just like an exercise in shame. And apparently there's another link over here. What's this one? Rather than fighting other games fans, NTE fans should put your energy for the devs so they can fix the damn bug. Oh, I saw this one earlier. Get ready for this. This is also in the NTE 1.1 update.
Water's known as the past. She wants changing splashes.
Bro, this game looks so bad. Bro, this game looks so shit. Bro. Dude, you can't, dude. I'm sorry, bro. Dude, I don't even know what to say. This looks fucking boo-boo.
Water's known as the past. She wants
Bro, can we just talk about how, bro, this is somehow worse than, like, this feels worse than the Genshin scene. With, like, where the rocks are, like, shaking. You know the one I'm talking about, where it's like, you got that one motherfucker Dane's Leaf, and like he's banging that Abyss Order guy off screen, and then the rocks are just shaking and shit. Bro, the rocks look better than this. This is just like, what the fuck was that? Dude, I'm sorry. Dude, no, this can't even be AI. This is just bad.
She wants
Bro, I'm sorry. AI would do a better job. Who is doing this? Dude, who is doing this? Is this has to be like one intern fueled off of like cat droppings and a Slim Jim. Like, what the fuck?
Splashes.
Oh god. And just so you know, this shit came out a week in advance in China. But I guess it's still not fixed. What the fuck even is this? So you can kind of see why the game's in like a bit of a shit state, right? You can kind of see why the player fall off has kind of just been immense since launch. You can kind of see why the popularity of the title, right? Especially when you start eliminating some other games from the comp. It's not looking good. Yeah, it's just not looking good, brother. Did it lose more than AKE? Well, they're basically neck and neck now. And AKE is a game you don't want to be neck and neck with. This is like, if you got the same grades as this kid in class, you're both retarded and probably repeating a grade. Like this is a race to the bottom over here, and I don't know who's gonna win. Like honestly, like that's probably the biggest bet of 2026. Which gacha will end up worse, NTE or AKE? Truly, it is a fierce battle that is happening right now, and that's not a good look, right? For the metrics of the game to be looking like that while the community of the game is acting this retarded, because this is delusion to a level I don't think anyone's ever seen before. And part of me is almost wondering, is this a psyop by an NTE hater to bury the game? Is this a psyop by like an NTE hater? This is not an account that's actually ran by an NTE fan. It's by an NTE anti, and they're just rage baiting the entire community and like getting everyone to see how dog shit this game is. Because guys, this is the first ratio in this comment section, and it's getting really bad already. Can we move on from this AI game already? That's what this shit is known for now. And it kind of helps. Do you know why? The game looks like shit. And people have conveniently used the excuse of, oh, they use AI, that's why it looks like shit. Guys, I think the game looks so fucking bad, they aren't even using AI. But, like, the game gets the cop-out of, well, it's AI, that's why it looks bad. I don't even think they're spending that much, bro. I think it just looks terrible in every fucking way without the use of AI. So it's kind of just like, man, it's bad in every degree possible. And that's where this original post came from. This was actually before the team-up post with the rest of the Hoyoverse games. People saw this shit. They saw how much this post is getting fucking dragged, bro. Bro, let's look at the quote retweets. Bro, just look at the quote retweets. Wait, that's so cool. What prompt did you use? Let me show you what Peak Excalibur looks like. Bro, this shit is just getting quote retweeted, and every single one has like over 1,000 likes. Bro, like every single one has more likes than the original post. And that's where the collaboration came from, guys. NTE was so shit, and it looked so shit It literally united the gacha community in talking about how shit it looks. I've never seen a game do that before. They're just united in talking about how awful NTE as a fucking game looks. And that all originated from a post talking about woo-wah revenue compared to NTE revenue. And it ends with them talking about HSR Ultimates getting compared to NTE boss fight cinematics. But the only real discovery from all of this is that people that weren't playing NTE definitely aren't playing it now. People that are playing NTE, well, they got a preview of just how dog shit the game looks, so they might just quit it. And now it's just become the literal laughingstock of the gacha space. The actual laughingstock of the gacha space, guys. Because people now just think of it as like an AI slop game that looks fucking terrible. But it's like not even, I don't even think it's AI that's the fault of the game. But it's just like the label, the scarlet letter that's already going to be placed on it. You have low quality product, low quality gameplay, low quality looking cinematics, terrible cutscenes, player counts falling off, and now you're the joke of, you're the butt of every joke for every single game community. Maybe it is fair to make the bet. I think NTE will actually somehow fall lower than AKE. Because at least AKE didn't have to work through this much of a bad rep. Yes, they were known as the PayPal scam artists. But like, I don't know what's worse, being PayPal scam artists or being known as the AI slop game that's making literal garbage. That's probably not even using AI, but everyone's saying it is because it looks so fucking bad. That's rough. That is a rough situation. But that's how it all broke down. That is how, ladies and gentlemen, NTE became the #1 enemy in the gacha space. And they did it all in the span of like 48 hours. And do you want to know what the goofiest, funniest announcement of them all is regarding this? NTE is also announcing their 1.2 special program today. After all this drama on Twitter. Like, this is what an unfortunate piece of timing. While the game is currently getting dragged to infinity and beyond, you have the announcement fucking post, bro. You have the announcement post for your new update. Maybe it was for the hype, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is not really I don't think this is getting nobody hype for the game. You out here pushing out attacks and cinematics that look like they were rigged 10 years ago and made 10 years ago. Oh, this ain't. Oh man, this is not good PR. It is what it is. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.